What's up, my peeps? Right here with me on this Mad Mike. Opportunity to chat some more and chat about, a lot of things. First of all, I want to jump right into what we saw Monday night. I want to talk about those Monday night games, but not until the news that stole the day. The news that stole the day is Davante Adams have finally come in and said, now, yes, I'm requesting a trade, which is strange for me because I was part of it. I was right there. I went and visited the Raiders when they were debating on giving the head coaching job to Coach Pierce. And one of the people that stood tall, that stood proud, that spoke loud was Davante Adams, along with Max Crosby and all of the star players on that team. And now to turn around in such a short time to be saying and requesting a trade, I understand the business of it. But this is more, I thought, of a personal here. Davante Adams is one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. Antonio Pierce is a football player at heart, long before becoming a coach. So I knew these two guys could find common ground if they just talk. Davante said on the show that he hasn't talked to Coach Pierce, and that part surprises me. That they haven't had a talk. I know Davante has people speaking for him, his agents, and of course, Coach Pierce has people that work for the organization that's speaking on his behalf. But just the conversation, talk. I love Antonio Pierce. I love Coach Pierce. But maybe in this one time, this kind of situation, and I don't know enough to know because I haven't been there. I don't know if something's gotten so bad with Davante, if he's doing some things in the locker room that's really tearing apart a team because they're opposite ends right now, and somehow, some way they've gotten into this spat. But from a business perspective, if things aren't going, now remember, Davante came over from Green Bay, came to play with Derek Carr, his college teammate. But then they got with Josh McDaniels. But all of them got let go. And Antonio Pierce got the job. And it just went so south so fast. I thought they were thinking and together on building something great. Davante Adams is from that area. He wanted to play home, and it didn't pan out that way. But from a business perspective, if they want to make their team better, the only asset they have is Davante Adams. Kind of reminds me of when Jimmy Johnson had to put up what we considered our greatest asset at the time, Herschel Walker. And he got a boatload back from Herschel Walker. You may not get that back from Davante Adams, but whatever you get, you got a great talent, and that team isn't going anywhere. So you let him get an opportunity, maybe even to win a ring. I just hate that it's breaking up the bad way between two football players, two very good football players at heart. So I hope some way, somehow, that they can have a conversation. And yeah, Davante Adams may be the best thing for him to move, but I just hope they have the conversation. Let's get into Monday Night Football games. You know what I mean? Because I want to talk first here. Let me say this too. The Titan beating the Dolphins 31-12, that was expected. Well, I wouldn't even say expected because, the Titans haven't been doing a whole lot of things, but we know what Miami has been without Tua. It's just a different game. The one thing the Miami Dolphins have done, and they have done great, is build around Tua. That was the mission that was given to Coach Mike McDaniels when he came from San Francisco. Build around Tua. They built perfectly around Tua, but it's Tua that they need in that offense. It's a whole different offense with him in it, and without him in it, you see the frustration of a guy like Tyreek Hill on the sideline. Let me tell you guys something. I had no problem with what Tyreek Hill did. Because I know you've seen me and heard me talk about wide receivers and the relationship between the quarterback and wide receivers and yelling at head coach. You notice Tyreek Hill on the sideline ranting, showing he wanted an opportunity to make plays, never got in his coach's face, never got in his quarterback's face. Yeah, it was ranting. His receiver, Coach Wes Welker, was right there. But he respected the process. And I appreciate Coach McDaniels for making it, because he was focused on the field and not taking that personal. What he heard behind him. He kept his focus where he needed it to be. He knows the kind of leader Tyreek Hill is. He's been a great leader for that football team. And they handled that well. Sometimes you have disputes on the sideline, and sometimes you just have frustration on the sideline. Sometimes the frustration leads to disputes. But those two right there, I must give a little kudos to, because they handled it well. I'll be honest with you, I love Tyreek Hill more and more every day, because everything he's done, he seems to handle it in the right way. And I love that. But let's move that Dolphins thing, that 31-12 game. That was the real game was that Lions versus Seahawks game, because you had that doubleheader. It was a high-scoring game, and the Lions put up 42 to seal that game, 42-29. Lions versus Seahawks beating the Seahawks. And what impressed me so much about this game, first, Seahawks were undefeated, so you knew the Lions were going to give all that they had. They're not letting you come into their house and win that game. They couldn't do that, and they took care of their business. And I'm going to tell you, Jared Goff went perfect. Jared Goff was throwing that ball everywhere. He was perfect last night throwing that ball. I was like, man, this dude is different. This whole thing is different. I mean, the whole way he carries himself, the whole way that team played, because Seattle and Geno, DK, and Lockett, they kept trying to press that team. They kept pushing back. And every time they tried to push back, Detroit laid them out. They put the foot on their throats. You go score, we come right back and score. Detroit looked real good. Very, very good. And especially with that thing going in the NFC East, in the NFC Conference right now. We don't know who's the best team in the NFC Conference. And I'm ready to tell you guys later on when we talk about this thing that maybe even I got to put the Commanders in there. We were talking earlier about the Commanders being one of the top teams in the East. I said, man, move EAST out the way. It ain't just NFC East. You better put NFC Conference. That's the way they're playing right now. That's what scares me the most right now. We were doing a question on the show today on Speak. They asked, do you think the Chicago Bears already regret? I don't even want to say regret. They put the kid's name on it. Regret the decision. And I don't ever say regret, because the kid has a lot of his career in front of him. But right now, looking at it, if you're in Chicago, you're seeing, by golly, damn it, man. It looks like we missed out on Patrick Mahomes. Two times. You mean you tell me you had a generational talent, a gift handed to you, and you passed it by, and you missed out. Not once, but 2 times. Oh, that'll be so hard to deal with, man. And I don't know, Caleb may come out and turn out to be something great. But right now, early on, there's no way you can't, if you're Chicago, you can't be saying, what did we do here? This is interesting. Now, you got a lot of room to go. But as an analyst, I'm making decisions off information that I've been given. And if I see these first 4 weeks, and I see how much progress this kid has made in the first 4 weeks, I extrapolate that and say, just make him make similar kind of progress in the next 4 weeks. Oh, snap. That's I don't want to talk too much about that. I better not talk too much about that. I better leave that right there. I better leave that right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave that right there. Because that, what I said a couple of years ago about Philly having a chance to do some winning and having a dynasty, that thing's falling apart already. And it's not talent-wise. I think that's more personality-wise. I don't think that'll be happening when you look at this team because of the personality of Jaden Daniels, man. You see how everybody loves to play with him and around him? And I'm worried that this thing could be some years. I mean years before you can get the ball back or get control back of this East or even this conference with that kid. I'm telling you, I'm scary. Chicago, you should be hurt. And you hurt me too. I just want you to know that I wish you'd have taken him too. I wish you would have taken him because what it looks like right now scares me for my Dallas Cowboys. That's just we'll let that ride just like that. That's all I'm gonna do. We'll let that go with that, man. But the Dolphins do look helpless without Tua, y'all. That's just the truth, man. They look helpless without Tua. I feel sorry for him. I know they're going to evaluate him. He can't play again until the week 8. So no matter what happens, you're going to have to try to do something over this next month. And the Dolphins, that's my other team. The Dolphins are my other team because I grew up right there. So yeah, I feel sorry for them Dolphins, man. But there's 2 teams that are undefeated remaining. That's the Kansas City Chiefs, and the big conversation around this one undefeated team is losing their number 1 receiver in Rashid Rice. How serious is this for the Kansas City Chiefs? I'll tell you, if it was anybody else, it's over for them. But I can't say it's over for 1-5 because that's a different dude in Kansas City Chiefs. That's a different team. And Andy Reid, that's a different coach. He can take players and put them in and get some success out of them. Now, when he has a talent like Rashid Rice, that's a whole different thing because he's a great talent. But who can they go and get and place in there right now to give you the help with what we've known to be a little up and down start to a season for Travis Kelce? But Travis Kelce's coming around. He's getting his shape now, so he'll pick up some slack. But there's been some rumblings, and I'm just bringing this up to drop this, that maybe somehow Kansas City Chiefs can get their hands on Davante Adams. That would be unfair to send that kind of talent to Kansas City. Because, see, that's what the Chiefs need. The Chiefs need a receiver that can win on the outside, but also understands the inside game. And, boy, if you got Davante Adams, it would be unfair. It would be unfair. So I know the Raiders will not send him there, especially if they're sending him off in a spat. So you certainly can't do that. In the Minnesota Vikings, boy, I told y'all early on how much I like the Vikings when I first saw them, and I see what I'm seeing now. Now, as much as I like the Vikings, I like what I see with Sam Darnold, I like what I see with Justin Jefferson, and that's the point for everything they do. That right there. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, those are the points. And now I got that battle at the top of mind. Remember, we were talking about Dallas, Green Bay, and San Fran, but up here it's really Minnesota and the Commanders for me. You can hover from what I saw last night, Detroit and all of that, but right now it's Minnesota and the Commanders hovering up there at the top of that NFC. That's a surprise. I'm saying to everybody, that kid Jaden Daniels is doing 90%. He going 89% completion percentage. Come on, guys. That's insane. That's insane. Man, I see the angry Cowboy fan who always, I appreciate you coming by all the time, man. But the Dallas Cowboys need to go after Davante Adams. I'll tell you that, man. Holy moly, holy moly. I promise you, my God, that's exactly what they need. I should be throwing that out. I should absolutely be saying, as a matter of fact, I'm going to throw that out tomorrow. Because you gave me that's a great, I don't know why I never even thought about it. I never thought about it. But Davante would be, the money will be a lot. There's a lot of money spent at the wide receiver position. And I don't know how Jerry can come back and say, oh, I found a way to fit his $25 million in the cap, but I couldn't find a way to get Derrick Henry's $8 million in. Yeah, but it would be insane. It's exactly what the Cowboys need. A body, a big body, a guy that knows how to run routes and play on the outside to go with CeeDee Lamb, who's very good on the inside. And I'm worried about when CeeDee Lamb gets outside and everybody's trying to play hardball with him and play physical football like we saw in that Baltimore game. That's when a Davante Adams can take off and take over. And any chance the Cowboys got it winning this year, they're going to have to put up 38, 40 points. So I can give Jerry a slight on, well, we didn't go after Derrick Henry, but we didn't want to lose the chance to bring on Davante Adams. And you gave up money over there. You still got to figure out a way to get in the cap, but you got to give up some resources here to get them out. I don't know, but I would love the opportunity to have Davante Adams in Dallas for the Raiders to send us another receiver like they sent when they sent Amari Cooper. Speaking of receivers, top receivers, let me go over this right fast and talk to you guys about this. These top quarterbacks right now, top five, we got to start talking about these stat leaders after 4 weeks, a quarter of the season. Do you believe or did you expect this to be what it is right now? Geno Smith at 1182, Brock Purdy number 2 at 1130, Dak Prescott 3, 1072, CJ Stroud at 4 with 1054, and Jared Goff at 5, 1015. Now listen to those names. You don't hear the Patrick Mahomes in there, the Joe Burrow in there, the Josh Allen in there. You know, those are top. Lamar Jacksons aren't in there. Top quarterbacks. Boy, but they're not in that top 5 right there. Now, I want to back up this because this is great for me. I want to go back to the top 5 receivers. Let me go to the top 5 in receiving yards right now. Let's talk about this right now. Because interesting point. Justin Jefferson is number 5, 358 yards, right? Number 5. That's scary because the Minnesota Vikings are undefeated. And Justin Jefferson is an average in 100 yards a game. So that means there's more in him and more in them. More in him, more in them, if you are thinking you're the Minnesota Vikings. That's what I see. Juwan Jennings, 364 yards. And this is what I tell you guys about Kyle Shanahan. Oh, okay, Debo out. Oh, Brandon, you're acting the fool. Oh, you don't know. Oh, you don't want to play or not? No, $30 million, you don't want? Okay, no, cool. Juwan Jennings, let me make you the number 4 receiver in the National Football League at 364 yards. Come on, I'll make you great too. You better know when you're great and when you're in a great situation, there's 2 different places and 2 different things. When you're great and you're in a great situation, make sure you try to keep them both commingling at all times. At number 3, DK Metcalf, 366 yards. You know, DK Metcalf always fighting. I'll tell you guys this quick story. When I was doing the draft, DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown came up to me when we were doing the combine, the year they were getting drafted. And these some big dudes. I mean, I'm a big dude, but these some big dudes. These big dudes, you make it bigger than me. Dude walked up to me and he said, hey, man. I said, what's up, young bucks? Man, yo, slipping on us, man. Yo, slipping. I said, what do you mean? A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf said we were slipping on them and they're the best 2 wide receivers at that combine. I mean, personally, I love that. Because I'm not coming to the combine to see you run a 40. I mean, I'll explore. That's important. And just out to see just you run, jump into a vertical or catch passes. I also want to see how you commingle. I want to see how you push. I want to see if you get guys going or if you're quietly going through your day because it's hard to get great quietly going through your day. But if you want them go-getters, you want them guys that challenge everybody. I want to bring you on my team because those are the most valuable guys. And that's what DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown was doing. I want to see you do that kind of stuff right there. Now, these top two receivers, very interesting. I told you new quarterbacks up there in the top five, but these two new receivers up in the top two, very interesting. The number two receivers, Malik Neighbors, 386 yards right now. Malik Neighbors making Daniel Jones look like a quarterback again. Because Daniel Jones was just about to look like, what the hell did we do giving you this money? But now Malik Neighbors is showing up. There's that combination again. Get a quarterback, a real wide receiver that can go and get the ball in any area code, and that's what Malik Neighbors said about number one guy. From the Houston, Texas, at 489 yards, Nico Collins. This is interesting, y'all, and this is lovely because what we're seeing here is what's scary out there for everybody that's going to be looking at the Texans. What he's saying is, yeah, Stephon Diggs came over here, and he's here now. Nico Collins is my number one guy. So as good as Stephon Diggs is and has been, he's really at best 1A or even or 2. Stephon Diggs didn't catch a touchdown the other day, but he did. He ran one. He ran for one on a reverse. He was going to pass it, but decided to run it in. That says something. That kid ain't getting no sweat, being forced to throw that ball anywhere. He's taking care of his business and let defense determine. And when he does that, yeah, he's going to be putting a hurting on those defenses. Yeah, Nico Collins, congratulations to my brother on showing that you're one of the best and you deserve to be out here. I don't even want to talk about the rushing leaders because Derrick Henry is right up there. You know, he's number one. Yeah, number one. And now all that's going to bring back is the Cowboys. Yeah, he's going to be leading rusher. If he was with the Cowboys, may not be leading rusher. You know, Baltimore, that's what they want to do. But he certainly could have helped the Dallas Cowboys. Look at this showing up again. This is what I told you guys. 447 yards is Jordan Mason, San Francisco 49ers, number 2 rusher in the National Football League right now. You know why? That's that dude again. He can take your talent and fit it into his offense. Kyle Shanahan. And number 3, Saquon Barkley. Alvin Kamara at number 4, 362 yards with Jonathan Taylor at number 5. You ain't gonna see no Cowboys nowhere near or any of that. Nowhere near any of that. And that's the problem you're having with the Dallas Cowboys. The receiving, the rushing. We need offensive guys right now to put some points up on the board because they can't stop anybody from running the football. I want to get back. Diggs has 233 yards right now. 233 yards. Nico Collins lead the National Football League. That's bad news for everybody. C.J. Stroud is going through his reads and looking at it the right way. Speaking of that young man doing great things, let's talk about that talk. I talked to you guys about it, and this is the game. Thursday night, who we got playing? Buccaneers at Falcons. I stood on business when I told y'all, watch the Atlanta Falcons. Watch what they do. I said they should win that division. I will say this, I didn't expect the Buccaneers to play as well as they are playing. And they are playing well. And I call them Baker, Manziel, Johnny Mayfield, and Mike Evans. They're doing a great job, having a great combination going right now. This game Thursday night, I'm still riding out the way I rode in. I'm not taking my foot off the pedal. I'm saying what I said. I'm going where I'm going. And I believe this is the game that turns things. The Saints look great, but they went to the Falcons, and the Falcons took care of that business. And that's a big rivalry. You see, that young Falcon team is learning every step of the way how to win. And they're getting closer and closer together. These are young guys learning how to win. The Buccaneers are some old guys that have won, and they added some new guys to that. I'm telling you, this is experience versus youth. And I'm taking the youth in this game right here to win this game. I'm taking the Falcons to win this game, to stake their claim on that South and tell people, Mike was right again, like always. Told y'all when they got Kirk Cousins, and I told y'all this was smart because it's now and later. They're having success now, and they'll have success later. It was a smart deal. Take the Falcons right there to win that game Thursday night. Even though I like Baker and I like everything that the Buccaneers are doing, him and Mike Evans is having another great year. Dude, let's go over some of the things that people talk about over here. We want to call it the overreaction or reasonable reaction. And then maybe I'll just hear from you guys for one quick second. But then I want to talk about this. Ravens are the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. That's an overreaction to a very good win for the Baltimore Ravens, given that the Baltimore Ravens beat the Buffalo Bills, who just got rid of that guy I told you about, Stephon Diggs. And the Ravens, all of a sudden now, is supposed to be the ultimate threat when we watch what they did in the opener. And I told you guys, I'm almost at a place where I said, I just don't know if you'll ever beat him, Lamar Jackson. You're not clean enough to beat Patrick Mahomes. You got to be clean. You got to play football clean. You got to make sure the little things. And even the other day, when you beat Baltimore, when you beat Buffalo, remember, Lamar, he jumped. The game's over. You got the game. What are you jumping? And you fumble that ball. That's the one I'm talking about. That little stuff there is what stops you from beating Patrick Mahomes. So I'm saying that's a way an overreaction. I just talked to you about a guy and C.J. Stroud. That cool, calm, praying before the games, that's the kind of guy that's going to be able to have a shot at dethroning Patrick Mahomes. Because you can't just do it with your physical ability. You got to do it with your mind. He's too good. You got to not make any mistakes late in the game. And the Baltimore Ravens have certainly done that. So, no, that's an overreaction. I'm not saying, I say they are a threat. They're a total weight, but they're not the biggest threat. I'm still dropping that on that other team over there in the AFC. You see what I'm saying? And that's those Texans. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, the Commanders are a bigger threat to the Cowboys than the Eagles. Yeah. That's a reasonable reaction right there. The Commanders are the bigger threat to the Eagles, than the Cowboys. The Commanders right now are the biggest threat to everybody. What's that thing they say? Your enemy, my enemy. That means whatever. How, if my enemy, your enemy makes. I don't know what they say. I never partnered with another enemy, with another person that I didn't like to get my enemy, to get a common enemy, whatever that is. So no. The Commanders are, right now, what you see right now, the biggest concern for everybody, not just in the NFC East, in the NFC Conference right now. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. I'm telling you, be afraid of what you see. Chicago messed it up for me. You messed that up. The Commanders are scared. Biggest threat for everybody in the NFC, not just the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC East. I don't know. Is it time for Drake Maye in New England? I want us to be careful with this. Let me tell you. because of the way that thing went on with Matt Jones in New England. Coach Rod Mayo has learned enough and seen enough to know I got to be careful with this. You put that kid in now, and this team is still in hope mode. Hope mode, hope mode. We still got a chance. We still hoping. We beat Miami this week. We still got a chance. With hope mode, there's a lot of pressure on them. But now they lose a few. If things don't go well the next couple games, and then the frustration boils over. The expectations will get out of the way, and now you could try to bring Drake May along by putting him in the game and giving him some reps because you realize your team isn't going to go too far. You see what I'm saying? Right now, you put him in, that's a lot of pressure on him, and I don't know. Let Jacoby Brissett take that beat down, take that beat in. And I ain't talking about just on the football field. I'm talking about from those fans and everything else. And then the kid comes in and gets some lessons for next year because he won't be able to Clark Kent in a phone booth, come out Superman and save the damn New England Patriots this year. So let's not worry about trying to save the New England Patriots. Let's worry about making sure you save the quarterback. And maybe you'll have a chance to save the New England Patriots if you bring him along the right way. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be pushing for it now. Wait, let them fall a little bit more. And then put Drake May in and let him go from there. That's what I'm talking about right there. So that's how you should have it. That's an overreaction saying it's time for Drake May. An overreaction totally, and I hope they're not listening. I know they're not listening. But Gerard Mayo, he just saw last year what happened. The Jets aren't going above 500. This last one, overreaction or reasonable reaction. This is a little bit of both for me, guys. It's a little bit of both. Let me tell you why. And then I'm going to just talk to you guys for a few minutes. But I'm going to tell you why this is both overreaction and a reasonable reaction. To have Where was I going with this? I had something in my head I wanted to share with you. We were talking about overreaction, right? The Jets going 500. The Jets win. And what scared me watching this is seeing all the penalties, right? The penalties and the mistakes. Because there are a lot of mistakes in that game against Denver. They just weren't ready to play. And I don't know. And then I saw where Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson was getting into it. Later on today, I was studying and I read what Garrett Wilson said something about they're not letting him run the whole route tree. I said, oh, really? I thought that's what, didn't I tell you guys that? Didn't I tell you that I think when I saw him, he just seemed so small. And running that whole route tree, putting him on the outside, and now that you have Aaron Rodgers, putting him outside and making him a focal point, and teams are focusing on him, and that, man, that's going to be hard. He's going to be getting banged around. Now, when I hear this and he's saying they're not letting me run the whole route tree, I understand why. I understand. That means I was right. They see something too. And that's why I also heard there's rumblings that Davante Adams may be coming over here with the New York Jets, because if Davante gets with the Jets, then that's something else. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, this is both. It's a reasonable reaction and overreaction. It's a reasonable reaction as is, because now they're finding out. I know you thought Garrett Wilson could do it all and everything. I mean, he's a great receiver. But we were focusing more on the poor quarterback play. And not all on the receivers. So he was having years. Now he's got a very good quarterback, and you got to start expanding the game. And I think he's going to have some issues sometimes just with some of the big guys outside, especially when they get horn in on you now, like defenses are trying to do. So yeah, I can imagine. But I expect them to get better than 500, especially if they can get his old buddy over there, Davante Adams. that'll be another great spot for him. Let's talk to some of you people, man, to my peeps out there, because I always talk to you. It's about the communication. Now, Falconer, playmaker's passion on the field was epic. That game was epic for me, buddy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm an old man now. Going back and being around that kind of stuff and that energy and those kids, man, you always hear retired players talk about what they miss most. That's what we miss most. Right there. Just that deep connection with we are about to do something epic out here. What I was sharing with those kids was, dude, you got to understand how great of a moment this is and what an opportunity this is. You were down 10 with 9 minutes left to go in that game. Come on, guys. You win this game, you win in the game of life. And those guys won that game. They'll carry that. It'll help them win in the game of life for the rest of their life. That's why I love that. That's why I loved it. And I love being right there. My job is to try to explain that to them. I know you think this is just a game, but you win, you do something like this together, you come back, you win this game. Everything you walk in with the confidence that you are this kind of a winner. And that makes a big difference for everybody. Dustin Ballsy, let me see, playmaker. Have you ever thought about becoming a wide receiver coach for the Cowboys? I have, Jerry, and we have talked about it, you know. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. Outside of me worrying about whatever mess people try to drum up to say, oh, the coach is doing this, the coach is doing that, they'll certainly never let me climb any high ladder in that way with my history, off the field and everything. But I have thought about it. We talked about it. My other concerns are this. I'm just so damn emotional and passionate, So I have always said I can see a joker, and I know how I played, and I played down in distance, 3rd and 8. I call a route. His dude in here drops it, and he comes to the sideline, and he's just saying to me, well, I dropped it. What? I'll get the next one, coach. It may not be you know what I mean? I'm scared I'm going to choke him out. Like you'll catch the next one. It may not be a next one. That's how crazy I am. So I said, no, I don't want to do no, God bless him, Woody Hayes stuff on the sideline. So I better not, coach. I better just keep doing what I do and having fun doing what I'm doing. Easy is his name, 88. Dude, come on, man. I like that. Easy is his name, 88. Playmaker, out of your 3 Super Bowls, which was your favorite? Everybody that asked me this question, the political right answer that most people get, all of them are important. I love them all. They were all great, and they were. But it's okay to have a favorite. And I don't care what anyone says, nothing can ever top the first one, especially because of the journey that preceded it. You know what I mean? The journey that we went through prior to getting here, going to 1-15, to 3-13, and having them, and now ending up at that first Super Bowl. It was in LA. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, they had these parties going on in LA. We were crashing every party. What? We were facing them parties. They were doing record parties. We were making a lot of noise. They said, be quiet. We doing. Said, we are the party. We're here to play the Super Bowl. And it was in LA. It was the Dallas Cowboys, star lights, everything. It was perfect. The first one, bar none, is the favorite for me. Now, the other ones were nice, but bar none, that first one is different. Haley Pierce is asking me, who is the player you would love to see on our Cowboy team right now? I just talked about it. If you gave me you said I could take any player around the league right now and put on my team, without switching out the quarterbacks, I'm taking because Patrick Mahomes will be the first one to take over everybody. But without switching out the quarterback, then I'm taking Davante Adams. And I'm saying, come on over here. I know you're not even happy over there. Right now, Davante Adams puts you back in the mix. Back in the mix of everything that's going on in the National Football League. If the Dallas Cowboys got Davante Adams, they'll be right back where they need to be. And yeah, Jerry can forget all that happened in this preseason, not being able to get any of the guys that are not even trying from what people are saying. Igor, I wonder if that's Igor, my dude, back home. Igor's the name of my trainer, the guy that I work out, come over and stretch me every day. So I don't know if this is Igor, but you need to get fellas to go with you to every Hurricane game. You can the rest of the season. He's saying that I need to get the fellas to go with me to every Hurricane game that we can the rest of the season. And I'm with you on that. And you better believe after that win, that's exactly what I'm telling those kids. And that's what I said, because now that changes everything. Everybody all back in again. That's the part. That's the part right there. Right there. When everybody gets all back in, that's the energy. Why do you think I'm telling you I'm worried about what goes on when I'm watching in Washington with the Commanders? It's not just that I see and what I see with Miami. It's not just that I see the talent on the team. You see the momentum. You see the juice is getting. And so you see it's going to be better than it is right now, and it's pretty good right now. That's what I'm talking about. You see that momentum. You see that you see it's coming, and I see it in Washington. I feel it. I feel it when I'm down on the sideline in Miami. And you better believe we're going to continue to try to keep that thing going because, man, it's so fun to be back in the hunt of all of that and all of this right here. You guys do know this is Mike Irvin, my YouTube channel right here. So, we want to always invite you guys to come in and send questions in because I just want to talk. I just want to talk with people and talk with you guys. I just want to share. The greatest thing someone told me, he said, man, when you've gone through such a life and had so many peaks, great peaks, and I've had such great peaks, but I've also had some deep valleys. The only thing you can do to have peace as you move forward is to try to use those peaks and, more importantly, those valleys to help others. Avoid the valleys and avoid the bad things that happen at the peak where everybody starts rubbing back, reaching back and patting themselves on the back, and everybody believes that I'm the one that got us here, because then things start falling apart like it did when we had back-to-back Super Bowls. You know what I mean? It's hard to handle the peaks. Also, but more difficult to handle the valleys. And being able to share with you guys, talk with you guys, open up right here on the YouTube channel without all the restrictions that everybody put upon you all over the place if you're working in another situation or on another platform, has been real good. It's been real good for me. I hope it is good for you as we share, because we will continue to do this all the time right here on this channel. Cody Cox, I appreciate you saying that. Love the channel, bro. This is amazing. So I appreciate that encouragement. Let me tell you why that's important too. That's nothing we don't do. Men don't encourage men. We don't ever do it. We just don't do it. I don't know why. You can see women around having a tea party and they say, girl, so you okay, you're gonna be all right, girl. We don't do that stuff. Nobody. We don't do that. And we got to learn to do it. That's why we're dying faster, too, guys, because we're keeping it all in. We're keeping it all in. We're supposed to talk. We're supposed to confess, as that Bible says, one with another. Pray ye one for the other. In this we shall find healing. So let's keep talking right here on the Michael Irvin YouTube channel. So I'm going to tell you guys, I know time is running short. What is this? What did this come up? I ain't even watching network since they shut. Yeah. Let me tell you, I appreciate that. And I got a lot of people talking about, and Bill is saying, I don't even watch the network since they let me go. I'll just state it that way. He said shafted you, but he watches here all the time. Bill, I appreciate that, buddy. And let me tell you, that was hard. I promise you. I didn't talk to anybody for a while over there because like how I deal with pain and hurt and issues, like I couldn't keep diving into it. We're coming up on the season. My guys would be calling me, Andy, my producers, all these guys call me, Giant, I'm calling me, and I didn't return their calls. And I apologize for not returning their calls, but I was trying to deal with the pain of not being there, you know, and if they call, we're going to talk about how much we miss each other, then I'm back thrown into that pain. I was trying to move forward. But now, after the first quarter of the season, I feel like I can open back up those conversations and talk and understand, okay, God has put me on a different path. He's put me on a path to get to you. Over there, I was doing it for them, but over here, we're doing it for us. So it's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. But we're going to be here. You know, Mailman Phil, you know, I am still getting my schedule because it changed this year, but we're planning to be here every Tuesday, right here at 8 Eastern, right here, doing what we do. So we just thank you guys for joining right here, spending time, taking some time with me, and I'll see you next week. This is going to be a very interesting week in the National Football League and the college landscape. I mean, for me, I already got one win because Colorado's open this week. Now I just need Dallas and Miami to do what they do. And we'll talk about it when I get back to you. Have a great day.